Hi there, this is a trigonometric ratio review. The point of these reviews is that you take a stab at them before you do the chapter work just to see where your skills are at. It's not going to be marked or anything, it's not judged, it's for you to figure out where you're sitting. And some of you, if you were say in grade 10 last year, this is going to be no problem because recently you've done it. Other people have never seen this stuff before, and that's okay, right? If you look at this and it's completely gobbledygook, then say, yeah, I'm going to do this review at the very end and start working through the package. Either one is perfect. It's all good. We can all get better at math. There is always room for improvement. That being said, turn off the video, do the questions, and then turn it back on or look at the answer key and see how you did. Gonna trust that you turned off the video. All right, so complete the review. The information in brackets refers to the corresponding video. So this one I was able to sort into chunks for you. So if you don't get this part, you know you can look at T1 to T3.4. The package that you have should have all the URLs for the videos. These all connect to YouTube playlists. All right, so we got hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. So if you take the square corner, right, that tells me it's a 90 degrees, and you go across. I was thinking that kind of is a little arrow that tells me which way I'm going to go. There's my hypotenuse. If you go from the hypotenuse and you go around the angle, like that, that makes this the adjacent, and then this side is the opposite, which, you know, the opposite side. Okay, same thing here. So here's my little arrow. There's my hypotenuse. I'm going to go around my angle. There's my adjacent. And there's the opposite. One thing with the opposite, if you struggle with that, is it's the one side of the triangle that has nothing to do with your angle. See, if this is the angle I care about, it's made up of this side and this side. Well, opposite is the other one, the one that doesn't make up the angle at all. Okay, cool. This is really important because if you struggle with the labeling, the trig functions are not going to be pretty. All right, solve for the missing sides or angles. Well, we've got an angle here. So that's telling me I'm going to use one of my trig functions. I don't know which one right now, but I'm going to be using one of them. So I always start by labeling, because labeling, I don't have to worry about the question. I can just label. So there's my hypotenuse, and then I go around my angle. There's my adjacent, and this is my opposite side. So what am I looking for? I have my hypotenuse, and I have the opposite side. With hypotenuse and opposite, what are we going to do? Let's see. So, I never could handle this when it was all written together, but now that I write it as 3 separate words, it makes so much sense. So I want opposite and hypotenuse. And if I look here, this one has opposite and hypotenuse. So that's sine theta. So sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Now theta is the angle, so 35 degrees. Use the opposite side, which is b over 16. I could leave that as opposite, but I have it labeled in the question here for us, so let's use that. And I'm going to put a little star here because this is the step where I stop to make sure everything's good. I should have 2 numbers and 1 variable. If I have 2 variables, 2 things I don't know, then I've got the wrong trig function. All right, calculator time. So sine 35. Oh, hold on. Before we start, you should know this. Always check your calculator and make sure it is in the right form. Now, can you see that? Yes, you can. I hope you can. See, it should be set to degree. And if you can't find that in your calculator, you're not sure if it's set. If you do tangent and 45, you should get 1. Memorize that fact. So I know as long as my calculator tan 45 and I get 1, my calculator is set right and my question is going to be good. All right, so sine 35. By the way, your calculator may have you go 35 and then sine. It's just the way calculators are different. So 0.5736. I always round to 4 decimal places, so 5735, and then that 7 makes that go to a 6. Is b over 16. I'm going to cross multiply. Go over here. 1b, 0.5736 times 16. And I am not going to clear that off my calculator. I'm just going to multiply it by 16. And I get 9.1. Now, let's see what the question says. The question's in centimeters, and it's rounded to the nearest whole number. So I'm going to say b is equal to 9 centimeters. That's my general rule. If there's nothing in the question that tells me how I should round it, I go back to the original and use that as my guide. All right, let's take a look at this one. Starting with, we're going to label it hypotenuse. Around the corner where the angle is, this is adjacent, and this is opposite. Now, in this question, I'm looking for hypotenuse. I have my adjacent. So, adjacent and opposite, if I go through, there we go. It's going to be cosine. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, remember theta is just a generic, it's the equivalent of x in geometry. For some reason, they like to use theta. So cos, replace it with the information for my question, is adjacent, which is 7, and hypotenuse. Oops. If I say hypotenuse, I can use E because they give us that letter there. All right, this is my checkpoint. I have 2 numbers and 1 unknown, so I'm good. So cos 71. 0.3256 is 7 over E. I'm going to cross multiply. Basically, any time that I'm missing something on this side, whether it's the top one or the bottom one, I know I'm just going to cross multiply to solve it. So 1E, whoopsie, sorry, 1 times 7 is equal to 0.3256E. So 7. And I'm going to divide both sides by 0.3256. And E is going to be 7 divided by 0.3256. 21.49. Well, okay, it's 50. But truth be told, if we look at the original question, this was as a whole number. So we're just going to make it 22. And it had millimeters. Millimeters is equal to E. And that is a reasonable choice because it's a hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is always the longest side. Actually, I should have said that here too. The 9 centimeters is reasonable because 16, the hypotenuse, has got to be the longest side. All right, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this video and split this review into 2 rather than having one really long video. I'll see you shortly.